Today I will be cycling in Denmark on this very ordinary bike, and from my parents' country house. It's 6:15 in the morning, so the sun is about to rise, and I'm gonna go down for some to buy some bread at the baker's. So we are in sort of on the rim of a forest, and I'll try to be a bit quiet on the first part because we might very well see some deer and some hares on the first part here that are out foraging. Here's this fancy car, belongs to my brother. It's an Austin. It's a Healy, I think it's called. So a bit of a contrast to a bicycle. But let's see here. Be quiet first. Deer up straight ahead, running away. I can see that. There's a deer. Wow, it's beautiful view here. I'm just gonna take a photo. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I just gonna shoot with my camera. But here you can see definitely the sun is rising. And there was a deer that just ran off. One second. So pretty with the morning fog. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. I'll take one of the sun as well. Yeah. All right, I'll probably insert this photo in the video later. There's another deer on my left, running, hiding again. Difficult to see in the video, you know. So this was an area plagued by sand, shifting sand. So these two hills were built to counter that. And here, wow, here we have I just have to take a photo. It's so beautiful. I don't know if it shows on the video, but it's really pretty with the morning sun getting up and trying to expel the morning fog. So there's a horse running around. There's a few horses coming. I don't know if you can see them. There's actually quite a few horses. Oh, the front tire's a bit down. Okay, now I have to remember to keep to the right. Yeah, because we're driving in the right side of the road. Wow, really pretty with the sun. If you get up this kind of time in the morning. Wow, beautiful. So down this way, sorry, I really have to take another photo. It's not often I'm up this early actually and cycling, because this is like a holiday home, so maybe you would sleep a bit later, this kind of thing. Wow. So pretty. All right. So it's a Tuesday morning, so people are going to work. On the right here there's an old road. Here's the little path going down, because there used to be a road made about 3,000 years ago down there, crossing this wet area. And that's pretty old for Denmark. And on the left we'll come to a little sort of creek where you can drink the water. Let me see here. Yeah, this one, the little streams are just coming out of the forest floor. And in my childhood we always would tap this, put it in some containers, and then bring it into town and drink it during the week. So but I think for this trip I think I'll go through the forest. So let me just drive up past the church. And this church is Tibirke Kirke. It was built about 900 years ago, and about 400 years later it had some serious problems with the flying sand and was abandoned, or at least partially abandoned, I think, maybe fully. And for example, the altar was damaged, so when it was dug out again and rebuilt, so to speak, or taken back into use, they put an altar, a new altar in front, left the old damaged one in the back. And it was realized, wow, this was actually a really old altar, so it went to the National Museum in Denmark. I'll just show you a few of the graves here. Very typical. This was a postman, it says. And we're right at the edge of the forest. So the forest here is on the right. So we can just walk down like a typical. So the Danish graves are not super fancy. You just have the name, the time of birth and death, and maybe your position in life, like if you were a postman or something. Okay, let me just put some air in the tires. I hope this really old pump works. Oh well, oops, a lot of air came out. Okay, hold on. Come on. Okay, they're sort of stuck together. Okay. I was riding it yesterday, no problem. I don't know why it's have gotten a leak or something. That's a bit unfortunate. Come on. Okay, I have to take the whole thing off, I think. Oh, it's really tight, this one. That's not such a good situation. No, there's absolutely no air in the tire. And I cannot get it out. Damn. Let me see if I can use the shirt. Come on. Okay, now it worked. And now I have to pump with this super shitty pump. Alright, can be done, I suppose. Not the most fun morning activity. This one is tight. Okay. Okay, done. Whew. Okay, let's see. Tire still okay. All right. After that little scare with the tire, we continue. So there's a back gate here to the church, and I will take that, leading straight into the forest. So this is the graveyard that my parents have said they want to be buried at. So I'll be back here at some point, hopefully not too soon, because we've spent a lot of time up here in this country house most weekends. So now we're in the forest, and we have to have watch out for the roots and all that, dead trees. And you can really smell lots of mushrooms. So you can smell the mushroom spores. So as a kid, my brother and I would be roaming the forest on our small bikes. It was great fun. So I actually know this forest really well. It's huge. It's probably 5 kilometers one way. I mean, huge by Danish standards. 5 kilometers to the ocean and about, let's see, 5 kilometers to the ocean, and then maybe 15 kilometers across, something like that. And here we get to the beech trees. You see these tall trees here, and they are, I guess, our national tree, mentioned in our national anthem in the second line, I think. And they are really beautiful. Our national anthem starts with the words, "There is a beautiful country. It has wide beech trees." So these ones, and especially in the spring, when the leaves come out, then they are so nice because you get this light green leaf that can actually be eaten, and then it's so beautiful when the sun comes through and lights up this light green forest. And it's also just because that's a sure sign that the summer is coming, that we've been through a long winter, which gets some people depressed. So springtime. Oh, 2 deer crossing. Instant replay. One more, 3. Yep. So you always see many more deer when you come out early morning. Yesterday I saw 2 hares as well. More difficult to spot, smaller. So incidentally, one of these houses here, can't remember which one, it was a black one. Small black house, and here's a big white one. So it's not that one, but that was the summer home of our maybe our most famous physicist, Niels Bohr. And he famously had a lot of discussions with Einstein and invited Einstein out to Denmark and other scientists for discussions of quantum physics. And Copenhagen was actually the leading place or the hub for the development of these new theories. And that was Niels Bohr who invited them up. So Niels Bohr got the Nobel Prize, so did Einstein, and one famous theorem that was discovered in Copenhagen was Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which most people may have heard of. So the fact that you cannot determine the exact position of an atom And that was basically Bohr and Heisenberg had some long discussions on this in Copenhagen, and they decided to, okay, they're not getting anywhere, so they decided to have a break. So Niels Bohr went for some skiing, I think it was, in Norway, and Heisenberg stayed back. And while he was staying back, he was walking in the Fælledparken, which is one of the big parks in Copenhagen. And then suddenly he got that idea. He got the idea to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So rushed back to write it down, and the rest is history, as they say. So it's really actually a very interesting history of these great scientists. And of course the Second World War then came, and you had to take sides because Niels Bohr, for example, was part of developing the nuclear bomb for the Allies, for America, whereas Heisenberg was back in Germany, and he worked for the Germans to try to get the nuclear bomb. And Bohr and Heisenberg had a meeting during the war, and yeah, no one really knows exactly what happened, but there's a lot of speculation that Heisenberg tried to find out what Bohr was doing and how far they were getting with the nuclear bomb, and any good tips or advice. And of course the development of this bomb was what ended the war with Japan. So it was a very important technological advancement. Unfortunately, war technology, very deadly, and Niels Bohr was very much against its use for war, but he was pro using it for nuclear power, so to generate electricity, so for peaceful purposes. But it's a bit, the two are a little bit interlinked, because once you use it for peaceful purposes, then you already have that material, and the step to make it into weapons is not that great. So yeah, so I think a lot of nations have nuclear power for that dual purpose, because nuclear power is actually not cheap, and it's only possible due to massive government subsidies. So, but in the national interest of having a nuclear arsenal, then it's, I guess, justified. Even though now advanced nations like Germany are getting rid of nuclear power altogether. So now I'm driving through Tisvildeleje, which is a little fishing village now dominated by summer houses, and this place is actually really popular, and especially I think it's week 29 in the summer. People flock here from everywhere, especially Copenhagen, to have a big party and a good time. So that it shifts around a bit in Denmark. It used to be Skagen, our most northern city, that was the hot place to go, and now it has shifted down here, and now, yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. Let me just show you the original beach, I guess. I'm not sure because there's not a lot of natural harbors here. But here is where they put the little pier, and you could draw up some boats. And all these small huts on my left are bathing huts, where once you go swimming, you can then have your change of clothes and get out of the wind. So yeah, so this is basically the beach and the town in the back here. And you can see there's someone walking down, determined towards the sun. I think he's going to swim. He has a towel over his shoulder, so he's gonna go for a swim. I'll just go and feel the temperature. I'm sure it's not very warm. Yeah. Not too bad, but I would say probably about, let's try again. Okay, maybe 18 degrees, something like that. So here's the lifeguard station. And as you can see, it's a long beach here. It's Denmark is actually blessed with these kind of very nice and sandy beaches all the way around. So so this place is packed in the summers with people, because there's a huge parking lot up here where people can go and park right next to the beach, and then you just plunge in. So in Denmark we start swimming when the water is 17 degrees, then it's considered summer already. Bit cold for most people, especially in Asia, but of course we prefer it a bit warmer. Like I personally like maybe 20 degrees, and on a good summer day maybe you get 22 degrees. The absolute warmest I've ever gotten was 24 degrees. So yeah, so this guy is stripping completely naked and walking out to bathe. So good thing we can't see it too clearly since it's being videoed. But this is very typical in Denmark. A good way to wake up. Okay, but let's not forget why I came. It was to get some bread. Wow, this sand is not fun to ride in. So now we are 31st of August. Is it 31st? Yeah. 31st of August. So that's considered quite late. So the summer is sort of over. Schools are going, kids are back in school, and that's why you don't see too many people as well. And this is a normal weekday, like Tuesday. So we just see the garbage men taking out the trash. Going up the hill here, looking for the baker. Normally they would open at sunrise or something, but maybe on a Monday out of the season, maybe not so. Let's see. Let's see. Open all day, but not at this hour. Okay. Maybe I'm simply a bit too early. Welcome to. Yeah, I think they're all closed. Huh. And here, bread and wine. This one has the bakery sign. Let's see. Yeah, it's open. Yay. On. Lad os se en gang. Ja. Kan jeg købe et par tebirkes? 2 tebirkes? Ja. Og en croissant? En croissant? Ja, tak. Og hvad har I ellers? Har I sådan en spandauer, eller?
Nej, desværre ikke. Jeg har nogle snegle.
Ja, okay.
Snegle,
Okay, en snegl så.
Ja.
Og har I frøsnapper? Ja.
Det er ganske klar.
Ah ja. Wow, okay. Jamen en frøsnapper også.
Og en snegl?
Ja.
Skal det være med glasur eller chokolade?
Med chokolade.
Ja, hvad får du?
Nej tak. Yes. Så er der ved at være lidt stille efter sommeren, eller?
Nej, der var faktisk rigtig travlt i år.
Er der ikke?
Ja, det var vejret godt, så jeg havde travlt så meget.
Selv på en mandag?
Ja, selv på en mandag.
Nå, okay.
Alle mange havde åbenbart fri.
Okay. Aha. Nå, men det er godt at høre for jer i hvert fald. Jeg har I mere forretning her. Ja. Okay. I lige måde. Hej. So, good. Mission accomplished. Getting the bread, or rather pastries, Danish pastries, the real Danish pastries, which are much better than what most people think a Danish pastry is. So that's always one of the highlights of coming to Denmark, to have the real Danish pastry. And interestingly, in Denmark we don't even call it Danish pastry, of course, because we are already in Denmark, right? You don't call your food, this is a Danish carrot or something like that. So we actually call it bread from Vienna, from Austria. So I guess we got this sugary bread as a import from, or trend from Austria. And I recall reading a little bit about it, and it came about when the Danish bakers had a strike, and so it was impossible to get bread because all the bakers were on strike. But then these Austrian or cake makers or pastry makers were the only ones around, and they got a real boost because we need our bread. That's sort of the staple food in Denmark, is bread. We eat bread all the time. So then it became known as bread from Vienna, or in Danish, Wienerbrød, what everyone now knows as Danish pastry. So don't thank Denmark, thank the Austrians. So on the way back, I'll just go on the main road, and you can see here there's a little stripe for cyclists like me. That's really all you need on this kind of road, where you don't have too much traffic and where it's so flexible that the cars can also use it when needed. So no need to always have a separated bicycle lane. That's a misunderstanding, I would say. So it's only if there's a lot of traffic or that the speed of that traffic is very high that you need to separate fully. So of course Denmark is a famous bicycle country, and even out in the sort of more rural areas you also have this kind of bicycle infrastructure, which is great. Even along some of the smaller country roads you'll see a bicycle path. So it's really wonderful to be able to bicycle so easily here. And if you don't have a car, then the train station is just up this road, so you can actually take the train to this most northern part of Zealand, or at least at the coast here, and enjoy the wonderful beaches and holiday spirit. So shortly we'll pass by the monument commemorating the effort to stop the fleeting sand, because that was the big problem. This sand would be blown by the wind and cover the fields and destroy life. So up this little mountain here between the trees, at the end of that one there's a monument commemorating the king's effort to get to grips with this problem. And as usual, you call the Dutch, who have a lot of experience with fighting against the sea, so they advised on how best to do this, and they were making these kind of hills, so it's not all flat landscape, and then planting them with this kind of I don't know the English term, but marhelm, which is this kind of plant that can grow in pure sand to basically hold down the sand so it doesn't blow and shift. and it's a real problem. We still have it in part of Denmark, where also in Skagen that I talked about before, where the church and other buildings can be covered, at least partially, with sand. And we have a big dune called Rølikkehuset, I think it's called, and that one is quite impressive and is definitely moving and is allowed to do so. So it's like a tourist attraction. So the morning mist is still being fried away by the sun, so it's still out on the fields. And it's quite beautiful with the low sun and the mist layer. I'll try to turn the camera. It's probably a bit difficult to see. Anyway, you get the gist. So on the right is the little watering hole. Difficult to see, but a lot of towns would have a little pond where the ducks would roam around. And but there's always the scare that a young child will be playing and running into this pond and drowning. And there's a lot of berries out at the moment. So it's quite wonderful. You can eat a lot of them. So now we are back close to the church again. On the left you can see the fields have been harvested, and the hay is left out for drying. So, and down there where the mist is on the left, that's like a more like a body of low water that has a lot of bird life. And also in that area they released some beavers. So the beaver had been extinct in Denmark for 2,500 years, and it was decided to reintroduce them. So they live down there and are making dams and